Okay, so we're back at this. So I think I'm gonna start moving my stuff into position here. Let me think about this a little bit here. Sometimes I just like to stare at the concept art for a while. I kind of feel like this thing is like coming out of a wall or something. Like it's not grounded. It's like coming out of some sort of other base. So let's do that. Let's take this whole thing here. Rotate it. Make sure that's on there. $45 is probably too much. Let's do like 25 or something. Alright, so we got that guy there. This monitor is probably where I want him to be. I might make like a little base for this guy too, just like his. If you're gonna make something that's like a one-off, it's not gonna go in a scene, then think about how it's gonna sit on a pedestal and all that kind of jazz too. So I'm gonna kind of build a little base for him to live inside. Take this thing, set that to parent, and then just smush it right in there. So I'm going to build this thing a little bit bigger than it probably should be. Let's add some angles for good measure. Outline this guy. I'm going to delete the base off of that guy. And I'm going to extrude him, go back to view, and extrude him straight down. So screw up my unwrap a little bit, but it's not bad. Might even angle that down or something too, but my dude. I was gonna make a little cube man, just so I know how big this whole thing should be. I'm gonna start trying to scale it so it feels a little bit right. So if he's standing up here, let's make that on the same ground plane as him. A little bit. Yeah, that feels better. Alright, let's put this up a little bit too. Actually, what I'm going to do with this guy, because I don't really need him to be cutting through that so much, I'm going to add a slice modifier. Oops, I added a skin modifier. I don't want that. I want a slice. Just cut him off at the base there. There we go. And, make a little base for my thing just so it feels a little bit more grounded. Alright. This thing feels a little kind of stubby or something. Alright. Yeah, something like that would be fine for now. Worry about that more later. Alright, so let's, I'm going to make the rest of these little guys here. So I got a little monitor. I'm going to start with this side here. I'm going to try and put that guy in there so he kind of comes up. You know, this monitor here feels, or this, like, assuming this is going to be like a keyboard or something up here beside this thing. I think I'm going to model that in right now, so I'm just going to do like a goes. I'm just going to symmetry this thing over. generally kind of get the shape I want. I have to lift up this thing. Let's attach these guys together. Okay. So let's take a look at the shape here, and I'll clean it up first because I symmetried it, so it's going to be a little bit ugly. Whenever you symmetry stuff as well, make sure you switch back to vert mode, and then just look around, because sometimes symmetry will leave like random verts in the middle of stuff. Like it'll just kind of leave one like inside there. I'll show you. Where are you? This is kind of what it'll look like. They'll just be like a little guy here. So just select them and just backspace it. Make sure it's cleaned up. All right. I don't need that. And then this guy, I'm going to chamfer over. All right, so what do we got here? We got that, couples with that. This guy go over here. This I don't really need anymore. That's at a weird angle inside there, but it's kind of blocked in, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'll need, I'm assuming this is going to be like maybe like a keyboard over here, or this will be like a digital keyboard. Right, so maybe kind of start prepping for that a little bit. I guess it's more on the top side, but I kind of want it closer to where people are actually going to use it. And then this monitor up here I like, but I feel it should be at a bit of an angle too. Everything's kind of flat on here, so I think what I'm going to do is attach these guys. Use my edge constraints because I'm on an angle now. And oops, make sure edge constraints is off. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. That's a silly way of doing that. I see. Maybe. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I just gotta take this guy and erase him up so he's even there. And then I'm gonna just chamfer this down so it's not like a sharp cut on the top. This looks like it's on a bit of an angle there. Maybe not. Yeah, it's just because it's upwards. But I'll just kind of inset this a little. Put that in there. I can chamfer this guy. It'd be kind of gross here, but I can just clean that up. Oops. That is Facebook. Wow, good knowledge of social media sounds. Guess what that one is?
Excellent. Other notification.
Ooh, Instagram photo post. Alright, so start cleaning up some meshwork here. Chamfer this. Chamfer it again. Yes, a little bit longer than that. Sometimes you gotta make things a little ugly before they look good. Alright, so there's like a million-sided polygon up top here. Just clean up your stuff, make sure you got quads everywhere, because remember you want your stuff to mesh smooth really well eventually. Turbo smooth, whatever. Alright. I feel mine's looking a little stubby. I don't like that. We're gonna fix it. This is definitely the time. Yeah. It's a little better. I have to move this guy back a bit. Oh shit. It's kind of like a 90-degree angle right now. I guess that's not bad. I might want to change that up a little bit. That's fine. He's probably going to get moved again anyways. Alright, so I got my monitor in there. Now let's make this thing on the side here. So we have a place for it to sit. but it's kind of flat, so we might want to build some stuff out on the side there too. You don't want your stuff to be just super flat shapes everywhere. You want it to be a little bit interesting. Oh, this is interesting. I'll worry about that later. Okay, so there's like teeth on this thing for some reason. I'm just gonna ignore those. Make some. I'm just gonna copy this dude over. And move them off to the side here. Okay. Yeah, so let's just make a little base. I'm going to delete some of these things here because it's getting a little complicated. Line it up like that. This guy definitely needs a chamfer, especially with tech. You don't want too sharp of an edge. And bring this guy all the way down here, maybe like halfway in. Okay. So we got this little thing. Let's model. Let's model something else up here. So I just reset this guy's pivot here. Make it a little wider. All right. This thing like goes right into the monitor, eh? Cool. And this thing kind of goes up in here. Not a big fan of whatever this thing is, so I might change it around a little bit. Sometimes things make sense in a concept or look interesting in a concept, and then you start making them, and you're like, this shape is stupid. So you gotta change it. Yeah, it's got some interesting stuff there. I'm going to have to make this thing a little bit more interesting later on, too, once we get into high poly times. I like the idea of it having some place to kind of attach to the monitor, too. Okay. Let's chamfer these guys a little. And then move these guys inwards. I kind of like this shape, but it's also kind of stupid. Whatever. I'll keep it for now. Probably end up changing it later. Sometimes you need to like just finish your mesh and then start looking at it later on and see what you don't like about it. You can spend forever trying to work out every problem on your mesh early on. Sometimes it's good just to give her. Yeah, I don't like this thing. Alright. So I just don't like some of the angles I'm getting here too. I mean, some weird looking stuff. None of that stuff's lining up quite right, so I'm gonna fix it. Alright. Down over here. This guy to be more of a 45. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 of those, and I think I'm just going to get rid of all of these. Leave that for now. Let's put that little monitor up on top there. Let's see where we go. I'm just going to copy this guy down here. Gotta turn him into just this angle so it actually matches up. Guy. Yeah, break the symmetry on that a little bit. Good. Okay, this will be my TV thing. What does that look like again? It's got like a thing. Alright. Monitor. Probably a little wider. Yeah, maybe not wider. Maybe this monitor isn't built in after all. Maybe it's floating. Yeah, maybe it's going to be on a little arm. Yeah, like one of these guys, or these guys. I like that better. Alright, cool. So we got that. Put a monitor in the middle here. Just make sure it's at make sure it's on the same angle as these guys. Alright. Shrink this down a little. Let's see, he fits into this 45-degree thing that I made here. Alright, so yeah, he's going to fit in right into that there. So he's also going to be cut with a 45-degree. This guy might be a little thick. Maybe. Looks like this guy is extruded like right from there, so maybe I will. I'm going to select these polygons. If you guys ever need like a shape that you're making from a previous shape that you have, let's say I have this monitor here, and I want this shape to start like a new object, you can always select those guys, go to detach, and then when a little detach dialog comes up, just do detach as clone. And what that'll do is it'll leave your old object intact, but it'll give you a little clone of just those faces. Like that. So that way, if you want to work from those, you can just work straight from those and not have to worry about remodeling anything or attaching stuff again. Just another option and tool that you guys have if you need it. Actually, probably don't need all these guys back here. Delete that. Alright, so he might not be. Well, he might still be on the same angle. If you have nothing to test your angle against, or you can't, just throw a box in there at the angle you want and use it as a ruler. Alright. Yeah, I kind of think that. It's kind of going inward for some reason. So I want to just straighten these guys out. I'm probably going to remove these guys over first before I start scaling. And then just flatten these things out. Alright, and then I will build my monitor. Edge constraints. Oh shit, maybe not edge constraints. Sometimes edge constraints do not do what you want them to do. And that's fine. Probably because I have these guys back here and they got nothing to constrain to. Yeah, I think I'm just going to build a frame on the other TV to match this, so I'm probably just going to leave it intersected for now. Maybe. maybe not. The reason I'm aligning these guys is I feel it'll just help me with matching shapes and things like that eventually. Actually, these guys I might want to just keep straight for now. So I'm going to inset a monitor here. I might only do this 1/2. And then I'm just going to remove that edge temporarily so I can chamfer this. There we go. Extrude. Outline. Oh, sometimes when you outline with edge constraints on, that will also bugger things up. So be careful with that. And might do a bunch of this if I can. Okay, so I might just inset this guy here. Trying to think what I want to do with this thing. So obviously it's a stupid shape for a monitor. Yeah, maybe I will do this. And let's try this again. So I'll chamfer this guy. Connect those, and then I'll do local. Yeah, I don't really like that. I guess it's not too bad. Maybe I'll just leave him with a curved monitor. Maybe not. Sometimes things are just not going. What if I just do monitoring here? Keep doing that. All right, attach these guys here. Yeah, that'll do. I was wondering what this thing is. This is my ruler. Okay, so we got that. We got this little thing. This isn't quite as big as it is in the picture here, but that's okay. I don't really know if I like this guy. Maybe I'll just leave him there. He's kind of throwing off my balance. I think I'm just going to build some stuff around here to kind of connect all of this. This guy. Stuff's a lot more kind of snug in there, kind of like that. There's also this big thing on the side here I didn't really model into my monitor yet. It's okay though. Okay. Now save a backup of my file because I haven't done that yet. Sometimes it's good just to save a new version of your file in case it becomes corrupted or something. Once you got some sort of backup.
Yeah, I do save on increment.
Yeah, that's nice. Alright, we got this big thing over here. And we just kind of built that over top. Anyways, let's build some of that back end kind of stuff. So there's going to be something holding this monitor in place. How you guys doing? Any questions, concerns? Just modeling away. Just gonna kind of mush this stuff in here. Yeah, good call.
Not a single straight line on the damn thing.
Yeah, this is all angles everywhere, eh? Yeah, that's funny.
Trying to think of how to do this piece now. It's like an orb, but it's like a cylinder and it's inset into a thing.
It's like an orb cylinder square.
Yeah.